Hi, Cancer. Welcome to your June reading. Happy birthday to June Cancers. I can't believe that we're in June already. Like, crazy. This year has gone by so, and I think I say that this year has gone by so fast every year, but this year has really gone by fast because of everything that's been going on. Some months probably are a little bit slower than others, but so on top of everything else that's happening this year, you guys come into Gemini season with Mercury retrograde on top of Venus retrograde, on top of Saturn retrograde, on top of Jupiter retrograde, on top of Pluto retrograde. Yeah, that's a lot. Because retrogrades don't actually mean that the planets are going backwards. Retrogrades mean that the planets are closer to Earth, so they appear to be going backwards. And when they are closer to the Earth, the energy is stronger. So we have this huge energetic push to accomplish all of the things. But you can't do any of it because none of it works, right? And so here we are. I feel like you want a fresh start. And it could either be with a air sign, or that could be your energy coming out. So let's see. Yeah. I don't know, man. So we have the King of Swords. We have the Fool. And the Nine of Pentacles. I feel like this is a fresh start. I feel like this is being very direct with what it is that you need in your life. Being very open and honest, and allowing yourself to see where maybe you were selling yourself short in the past. And there's no need to fight about it. Like, you don't have to be angry with me because I said that. You already knew that it was coming. The Five of Swords and the High Priestess. So the arguing is still happening. And it doesn't even have to be big arguing. But here's the thing, you guys, is sometimes the arguing is happening because you're shutting down. And I'm not saying that it's not their fault, because it clearly is their fault, right? Like, it's not their fault. But if you're not saying anything, so you could be dealing with a Pisces energy or even an Aries energy. But if you're not saying anything and you're just trying to be independent and you're trying to do your thing and whatever, and then they irritate you and you don't say anything about it and you just argue with them and you don't say, hey, that really irritated me. How are they to know? I'm not lecturing you. The dog's gonna bark. They're doing some things. My roommate's doing some things right now. Right. And this is why. Like, this is all in an effort for you to find your stability, for you to find your place, for you to feel comfortable. And the Mercury retrograde is just going to bring up all of the things that make you realize that it just has to change. It can't continue to go on. And we've talked about this before, you guys. We've talked about this before. It's not about what they've done. It's not even about what they've done anymore. Like, that's something that you are, what they did or didn't do, or, because sometimes we can get really irritated with people when they don't do things. Like, we want them to do something and we expect for them to do something and then they don't do it. And then we're just like, well, what the hell, right? So allowing yourself to look at this in a perspective of, if you want to be on your own, Cancer, then you should be on your own. But being mad at another person because you're shutting yourself down, and you want to be on your own, and you're arguing about it and all of that stuff, and you're like, but I just wanted this to be a happy home, but you can't allow yourself to see the distinction between the two. That's going to create the turmoil within you. And my job is to help you to not have the turmoil within yourself. Fighting with other people can clearly bring us turmoil within. You see? So let's look at this King of Swords. Yeah. See, I feel like you're sort of done with giving any more emotional capacity to this person. And we've been talking about this King of Swords for a very long time. Doesn't have to be an air sun sign. They could just have a lot of air in their chart, or they could just be the strong silent type and not really have a lot to say. But that Eight of Cups, we kind of talked about this in May. And you allowing yourself to realize what it is, like where they're holding you back from this new beginning that clearly you created all on your own, right? So with this Fool card, we have to take risks. We have to allow ourselves to say, even if it doesn't work out for me, I'm going to do it anyways, because that's where I feel like my soul is leading me to do. Woo. But you won't do it. You won't do it, and you won't see it, and you won't fully realize it until you allow yourself to release, right? So we have the Two of Swords and the Hanged Man on the Fool with this Eight of Cups. Now, even if you have been inching towards on what it is that you clearly want to do, there's still some doubt in your mind about I feel like it's either one of the pieces or the whole piece is really what I want to say. Because I think with that Two of Swords, you still have to make some decisions on what, like, am I going to risk it all? Am I going to allow myself to risk it all? But making that decision means that you have to leave the emotional baggage behind. Because you can't make the decision based on how you feel about it. You have to make the decision based on feeling and intuition are two completely different things. And a lot of people mistake that, well, but I just felt like I should do that. Well, that's really great. But, intuition is when your heart and your mind are working together to create solutions. We make a lot of poor life decisions based on feelings alone and not using the logic part of it. And I say we as in just in general, like the whole collective. That's what we do. And allowing ourselves to recognize where it is that we're holding on to that emotion and we're not fully realizing that we're holding on to that emotion, that's when it's time to switch gears. That's when it's time to do an about face. Can I say that with you guys? Do an about face and say, oh, this is where I'm missing it, right? Because I think that part of you that I'm talking to, you're on pause because of what's happening in the world, right? And you don't know how long that pause is going to last. You don't know how long that pause is going to take. For some of you, you are using what's happening in the world to stay as an excuse to stay on pause and to not fully realize what you need to do in life because that's the easy way to go. Please don't shoot the messenger. You're doing so well with the Nine of Pentacles. And some of you are not taking the risk because you're like, well, this is as far as I'm going to go. This is as far as I feel comfortable with going. And the Nine of Pentacles is telling you, no, you need to fully realize your own potential and your own capacity and start planting those seeds to get there. It's like at one point you realized what that Nine of Pentacles was for you and you realized your full capacity, and then you did that about face again and you were like, okay. Sorry, it's my antenna. So that's what when I'm channeling, play with my hair. Plus, it's just so soft. So we planted the seeds in Taurus season, and I know you're waiting for things to take off, right? I understand that it's frustrating that there are some things that we just can't do because we're waiting for life to start again. But you don't have to wait for life to start again. I feel like some of you just looked at me and you were like, but Betsy, how am I supposed to do that? Well, you're not going to do it through arguing. There's something that's holding you back from allowing yourself to step fully into your potential. I don't know if it's a person. I don't know if it's a feeling. I don't know if it is a placement in your astrological chart. It's going to resonate with you, how it's going to resonate with you. But with this Mercury retrograde, you're going to have all of these feelings: Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Pluto retrograde. Pluto and Jupiter are going to be joining conjunct again in June. There is a vital need for us to transform. And you are right in the middle of it. And fighting against your passions, I feel like a lot of this is because you're not believing in yourself. Maybe you can talk a big talk, but if you actually believed in yourself, with that Ace of Wands on the Five of Wands, that ace is a gift from the universe. And you've been waiting you planted the seed for this gift. And you've been fighting for this gift and you've been struggling to get it. But can you see it? Are your eyes open? Because the Two of Swords is telling me that you're a little bit blindfolded to what's in front of you right now. So, High Priestess. King of Wands on the High Priestess. I feel like Cancer has a secret. And I feel like it has to do with the fire sign. And it doesn't have to be in a romantic capacity. It could be family. It could be a relationship. It could be a friendship. It could be at work. But I feel like there is something that Cancer is not being honest with themselves about or honest with other people about. I think that you're keeping things very, very tightly lipped because you don't want to have to explain. And I fully understand that. 100% fully understand that. I don't think that you should feel like you have to explain anything to anybody. Four of Wands. But it is going to change. It is going to change the way you see your safety and security. And I think that the back and forth, the back and forth, the back and forth. Do I do this? Do I do that? Do I do this? Do I do that? That might be the emotional baggage that you're holding back. Maybe you have a choice to make between two people. Maybe you have a choice to make between two bosses. Maybe you have a choice to make between your husband and your family. Whatever it is, you refuse to take the risk to make the choice right now. And maybe, and honestly, I wouldn't make, if it was going to change my life in a really big dramatic way, I wouldn't make the decision in June. I would wait until July, to be quite honest. But you're going to have to decide what's best for you. If you can no longer stand to be in the situation that you're in anymore, there's no need to hang upside down and torture yourself because you don't want to make the decision. You don't want to see how it might be hurting you for you to stay where you are. I don't want to see all of your hard work go to waste. I don't want to see all of your hard work, and y'all, these are 2 Cancerian cards if I've ever seen them in my life, okay? The Knight of Cups and the 4 of Wands. The way you just want it all to work out, so commendable. So commendable. And I feel like you need to have a sweeter type of energy to give your love to your environment, give your love to your home, allow yourself to really plant the seeds and make you feel like, this is my life and this is what makes me feel good. And this is what comforts me. Because once you allow yourself to get grounded within your space and give love, self-care and self-love back to you, right? Because the 4 of Wands, really, when it all comes down to it, the 4 of Wands resides within us. Yes, it may look like there's a structure. Yes, it's about a happy home and a happy marriage and a happy family. But we all have that home within ourselves. And that's something that's going to be very front and center for you guys right now. Especially when we get to your Cancer new moon. There will be a need to readjust the way you see your environment. And, this is exactly what I meant. There you guys are. Yay. There you are. There you are. Okay. So we have the Knight of Wands, and then we have the Ace of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups. And then the Lovers is at the bottom of the deck. So we could be dealing with the Gemini energy up here. Doesn't have to be a sun sign. Could be a rising or moon Gemini also. When you stop going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth on what to do, and you allow yourself to see that as your cup gets full, the more long-term stability you create, that's when things are going to be fully realized. That's when the decisions, that's when this, existence of the Lover's existence, where the divine masculine, the divine feminine within you can coexist peacefully, right? It'll be so much easier to see how everything has unfolded exactly and perfectly in divine timing for your journey. It's not easy to do, but man, once you get there, it's so worth it. So I wish you all the best of luck with that. I have a few readings open for June. I'm only reading like 2 days a week right now for personal readings. And so I only have a couple of readings left, and they're going to be in the 3rd and 4th week of June. So hopefully I could open up more days coming up, but I have my son like 4 days out of the week. So 3 or 4 days out of the week, depending on what week it is. But so it's very hard for me to do personal readings during that time. But I wanted to, people have been asking me, personal readings. Also, if you haven't yet had a chance to join our membership, lots of readings over there. You get all of the love readings. I haven't done the love readings for June yet, but they will be coming in the coming weeks. We have an amazing group on Discord where we are learning astrology and all of that stuff, and you can be a part of that. You can be a part of that through the memberships. If you'd like to join the memberships, you can click join right underneath this video or check out Patreon. No pressure. We would just love to have you. It's an amazing group of individuals, and I love you guys. Have a wonderful June. Have a wonderful birthday for the June birthdays, and I'll see you guys in your season. Bye.